Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to you sincere, hopeful elect brothers and sisters listening and learning. And to you brothers preaching and teaching this truth that before comes to earth. This is Brother Nathan, come out of the GMS Indianapolis camp. Come back with a quick one through the spirit. This is from greenmatters.com. It says speculation and fear swirl as animals are spotted fleeing Yellowstone in droves. Do the animals know something we don't? Question mark. Yellowstone National Park is home to a wide range of animal life, according to the National Park Service. Almost 300 types of birds, 16 fish species, and 67 different kinds of mammals roam around the park. And while many people travel to Yellowstone in the hopes of seeing one of these many creatures in their natural habitat, some are appear to be hightailing it out of the park. Videos of animals leaving the park have gone viral, prompting people to worry about what could be driving them away. Some people are even claiming that this is a sign that Yellowstone's supervolcano is about to erupt. Why are the animals leaving Yellowstone? Love you. Daughter. It says some people are even claiming that this is a sign that Yellowstone's supervolcano is about to erupt. Why are the animals leaving Yellowstone? You can find out what the experts say is actually happening below. And see and that's the thing, animals, they're more in tune, so they get out the way. Just like before those floods happened in was it Texas? There people's farm animals were getting the higher ground and stuff like that, and you've heard past things that animals getting out of the way before a major earthquake or a weather type event happens. Okay, so they seek shelter. All right, so that's why the speculation is, hey, something's about to happen. Especially that super volcano that's there. They've been talked about for years, decades about, oh, when's the big one gonna happen? Hey, we're entering these times, man. A lot of major events are gonna shake up this place. No pun intended. Via earthquakes, you got volcanoes in the mix, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, mudslides. Yahweh Shemel Shai is bringing judgment upon this earth, man. All right. It says footage. It says, why are the animals leaving Yellowstone? It says footage captured in the park appears to show animals leaving the park in droves. The videos, which have gone viral on social media, show a number of bison and elk in what appears to be a desperate attempt to they must have meant to say exit the park. Even grizzly bears have gotten in on the action, and they've been spotted making their way out. According to Yahoo, this has prompted many to speculate the massive volcano under Yellowstone is about to become active for the first time in thousands of years, ahead of what would be a catastrophic eruption. However, the experts aren't sold on that theory, and instead are telling those who are worried what it really means. In other words, let's water down everything to keep the peace, right? Apparently, there's nothing unusual about the animals that have been seen leaving the park, since it's part of their seasonal migration pattern. Yeah, this is one of the very few very viewed. You don't see bears moving around like that, like they're in a whole damn pack. I seen it. I got the internet off right now, airplane mode, but I've seen this video. They say you don't see bears walking around like they're cattle, okay, together like that. Yahoo says that the animals are likely moving towards the lower elevations where they will have better access to natural food sources as well as milder weather as the temperatures begin to turn cooler. Additionally, increased human activity could be pushing the animals to see. See, they're not saying this is a definite answer. They're saying it could be this, more, or it's likely that it's this. Those aren't definite answers, right? I'm not gonna read all this. You check it out. Because there have been videos showing even mountain lions leaving in packs. Once again, some, moving down to Utah. Once again, these are things that aren't normal, but they're trying to make it normal. This is second Ezra chapter 5, verse 8. It says, there shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again. And here's the point. And the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. The point was the wild beasts shall change their places. And that's what you're seeing. Not only just Yellowstone, but you're seeing it around America in general. In other places in the world where you're seeing these animals coming, especially the predatory animals, teeth of wild beasts, man. Because what? Yahweh Shemel Shai are going to use these animals as what? Spirits of, as spirits of vengeance. All right? Upon the what? The sinners, upon not only of the children of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, but also these damn heathen, man. Okay? And that's sucking. That's what's happening. So you see there's confusion all over the place. That's happening. You got all these many doctrines and philosophies all through social media. You go TikTok, Instagram, whatever. You see these people are coming out with all types of madness, man, on what they think is going on in the world. Right? Like I say, you see the judgment of the Yahweh Shemel Shire, coming down harder and harder, on these people. And then, so what? The wild beasts shall change their places, right? Because what? They're about to be used as tools for destruction upon these people. And it said, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, right? And that's what you're saying. Not only, it's like twofold. Women are bringing forth children with one leg. You know what I'm saying? Missing fingers or extra limbs. Different conditions, right? And then also what on the other side of things is what like these YNs, right? These GMO babies that are raised up on nothing but chemical food. All right, and they're out here committing all types of crimes and atrocities, because it's the thing to do. They've been bigged up in the society. So young, wild, destructive, what they call YNs, like I said, it's like a badge of honor. All right, you know. So let's get into this is Jeremiah 15 and verse 1. It says, then said Yahweh Shemashah unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards this people. What people? The children of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Cast them out of my sight, and let them go forth. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus said Yahweh Shemashah, such as for death to death, and such are for the sword to the sword, and such are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith Yahweh Shemashah, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and to destroy. And that's what's gonna happen. All right, again, here in America, Babylon the Great. All right, and other places scattered, but chiefly here, right? Because that's where the major judgment is going to come down here on this wicked capital, really the major city, the whole America of Esau, even the so-called white man, right? And check this out, because look, like I said, these animals ain't moving their places for no reason. Like I said, one, to get out of the way from current, sudden destruction coming, right? But also to be used as a tool against the people. All right. And that's how it's going to be against 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans that are set to be destroyed. because you won't repent, come back to the true and living power of Yahweh Bashim El Shai, and rehearse his righteous acts under the law, statute, commandments. All right, so you're gonna get what these teeth of wild beasts put on you, man. All right, to devour and to destroy, and then we ain't gonna give y'all the reproof that you're currently getting. So when it's too late, you're gonna be trying to ask and figure out, oh, what's going on? Hey, look, I'm gonna be short with you. Some to death to the death, some to famine to the famine, some to the sword to the sword. you know, some to the captivity for the captivity. That's it. Short and sweet. All right, let's get second Ezra. Let's get Oh, you know what? Bear with me here. This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39. We'll start at verse 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sword strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And who made them? Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, these spirits of vengeance. All right, it's going to give you some examples of the types of spirits of vengeance that the Lord uses. Verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts, see? That was the main point right there, talking about the movement of these animals. Birds, land mammals, The Lord is moving those strategically, man. All right? It says, and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Verse 31, they shall rejoice in this commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Right. So once Yahweh Shema Shai puts the hit out and destroys these people, all right, via whatever spirit of vengeance he decides to use, right? Guess what? Once it says it's you, you're out of here, man. That's why it says it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man. So you got these animals out here that are ready to destroy it on sight. Okay, that's why you see the family dog go and eat up the children. Because why? Yahweh Shema Shai put a spirit of vengeance on that animal. Okay, that goes for any type of animal that you have. Hell, you could have a serpent, right? You could have a snake. That's someone's pet, right? Oh, this is my buddy. I let him hang around my neck, and he don't try to harm me at all. Then one day the Lord put the spirit on him, like, wrap around his neck, till you pass out and die, and then the snake breaks your damn neck. All right, it slithers off. So that's up to Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Bring this vengeance. That's what it says. This is Ezekiel 9 in chapter 5. It says, and I'll start at verse 4. It says, Yahweh Shema Shai said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right. And who's that? The elect of the nation of Israel. And that mark is the Tawah, which is the mark of exemption, the spiritual mark, not the Not the mark in Revelation 13:16 on down, talking about the charagma, the RFID micro C hip. Not that. This is the spiritual mark. It says all it says on all those that sigh and that cry for the abominations, for all the abominations that be done in the midst of us. See, and the only ones sighing and crying are the men of the Lord, or those of the hopeful elect. They actually want to get out of America, Babylon the Great. They want to get out of their captivity. They want to get out from living this world. All right, they want to arise and depart because they know this is not our rest, like Micah 2:10 says. All right, we want deliverance. We want the new bodies. We want to be made perfect in Yahweh by Shemel Shai. Okay, those are the ones that are gonna make it out of here. Gonna get that salvation. That's gonna be changed in the twinkling of the eye. All right, verse 5. It says, "And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women." See, because there's going to be spirits of vengeance. All right, Yahweh Shemashah is going to use these death angels, to slay and slaughter via all different types of plagues. Like I said, what we just read off: fire, hail, teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, earthquakes, famines, pestilences. These are all used for destruction. Hey, it can be what? The storm and tempest, right? Volcano. you know, Shit, the Lord got an infinite ways to take you up out of here, man. And it's happening. Hey, the hands of man, right? Like I said, these death angels jump on all these things, all right, to perform what? Whatever Yahweh Shemashah needs done. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. See? And that's what it's going to start with. It's going to start with the house of Israel. Those that know who they are in Yahweh Shemel Shai. Those that have he's going to start with his children first, especially those that are in the know, that know that they're of the nation of Israel, but still signed up, still, are still trying to just be niggas out here in the streets. Like I said, they know, but they don't make any changes. Like, yeah, we the real Hebrews, we the real Israelites, and that's it. That's where it stops. Barely know the name, or if you do know the name, which is the foundation, which is Yahweh, which means He is or He exists, who the world ignorantly calls God. Ba Hashem means in the name, and Yahweh Shai, which means He saves or He delivers, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Okay, Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai is the names you need to be saved via what? Acts 4:12. For there's no name given under heaven in which we might shall be saved. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, that's the name Yahweh Bashim Shah. That's it. All right, that's the foundation of our faith, and then you build upon that from there. But see, 2/3 they, like I said, they like the, oh, they know the name, and they like to wear the fringes on everything. They do that. They try to do that part right. But when it comes to actually following law, statutes, commandments, and actually getting this 100% truth, man, they don't care. They like to be niggas and fringes. I'm surprised they ain't made a rap group called that, niggas with fringes. So that's the point. Like I said, these animals are moving out their place for it could be a couple reasons. Like I said, for incoming danger that's getting ready to happen, via like an earthquake or a volcano exploding, / getting prepared to, guess what, to be used against the people, man, as spirits of vengeance. So with that, I pray that was edifying to the elect. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the others, a great millstone. Kwame Yasharallah.